So first thing, man, what kind of got you into fitness? You're a big-time trainer in town now, head of a supplement brand, face of a supplement brand. What kind of got you started in that?
This is something that goes back way to obviously my childhood growing up. So my uncle, you know, this big masculine energy man running around, bodybuilder, huge, massive. So I immediately, you know, got traction off that and wanted to aspire to be like, you know, someone you look up to. So I really looked up to him. Started in that, and then, you know, when I was 14, I started bodybuilding, started getting into the sport. You know, 22, did my first bodybuilding show. 23, did my second bodybuilding show. Went to nationals, and then after that, man, you know, let's just be honest, you know, COVID happened, shut down the country, and at that point, you know, I decided that I had to do this full time. Like, I have been lifestyle coaching for the past 7 years, and that was good, but it was like, it wasn't like it's fulfilling for me, right? I love it. It's just I needed something better. It's just like anything else. You know, you start here, you want to keep working your way up. So eventually started coaching people. Was lucky enough to get sponsored by you guys, so extremely blessed about that. It's been amazing because you guys don't understand how important supplementation is, you know, especially in bodybuilding. It's 100% important.
You're a dad too, though. You're self-employed. What do you do hobbies-wise, though?
Hobby-wise, man, you know, to be 100% honest, I've been thinking a lot on that because as you grow, and I'm sure you can attest to this, the busier you get, the less time you fucking have. Like, I know you do a lot of hunting. Me, man, it's like I just work so much, and I've been having a lot of people telling me that I have to take more like self-time and do shit that I love. So this past weekend I was shark fishing. You know, I caught 2 shark off the beach, so that's fun. I just like working right now, man. Like, it's a passion. You know, it's just like, that's all I do, to be honest with you.
Well, it's cliche, but if you love what you do, it ain't work.
It's not working.
For me, it's like, if I want to do good at work, I gotta take a day off or something like that. And I can still function without it, you know, 80%, but I notice if I do find that thing outside of work, I get better at work.
It was actually so weird. I'm sitting there, like, I have my phone in the bag, and I'm just sitting there waiting for this pull, and it actually felt pretty good, you know. And like, when you have kids, like, it's the most fulfilling thing in the world, but it's all about them. You know, it's like, I'm coaching them on football, I have them in tutoring twice a week, I coach them in football twice a week, plus the games. 5 days a week that are committed to him.
And then how many days a week do you lift?
I lift pretty much 7 days a week for the most part. I try to take off Sunday, but I always find time.
Your diet's still clean through all of this?
It's pretty clean. So I really rely on protein powders, guys. And this is something I've done my entire career. And I'm not even, this is no bullshit. I would wake up, I'd drink 2 scoops of protein where I sleep. Wake up, boom, 2 scoops. After the gym, 2 scoops of protein. Before I go to bed, 2 scoops of protein. I know it's not the best. I know I preach solid food, but you know, me personally, I'm not trying to be, you know, an open bodybuilder right now. I'm just trying to live normally. And I know that I need at least my body weight in protein. So as long as I know if I get that in a day and I eat 2 or 3 times a day, I'll hit that protein goal.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't bullshit with people either. Like, as far as protein powder goes, food's better.
Yes.
It's 100% is better. Protein powder is just awesome because it allows for someone like yourself, who, you know, the macros are super important. You can still actually fit it in your diet and not have that, you know, stop at a bunch of different stores, cook, all this kind of shit.
Exactly.
Like, no, I mean, protein powder, awesome convenience, but food's better.
But I do think that people overdo it. You know, I do think, like, if I was on a bodybuilding prep, right, and I was doing 3 protein powder shakes a day,
you'd be fat.
I'm gonna be fat. I wouldn't say I'll be bloated. The artificial sweetener, it would just, you wouldn't lose fat loss like you would if you were eating like chicken breast and rice. So I think they go hand in hand because I do think that your body will respond good to different kinds of proteins. So having like a really source of lean quality isolate is really good. And that's why I love, you know, the company that we're sponsored by, right? Forge, you own, because you have isolate protein. You're not, you don't waste your time with like 100% whey that's you're going to drink.
Like concentrates or caseins or any of that kind of stuff. It's, you know, not bashing companies for doing it. You know, at the end of the day, it's the consumer's responsibility to know what they're buying.
Exactly.
But as far as effectiveness, isolate protein.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you should be putting in your body.
Even my lifestyle clients, I honestly don't ever put whey protein or whey casein, none of that bullshit. Like, none of this all beef protein, doesn't matter. Like, if as long as it's whey isolate, I want you doing it. I don't want you doing anything else.
Yeah, and I mean, the funny stuff too is like slow digesting protein, casein. It's still liquid. It's going to digest quicker than a whole food. So it's not really like a slow absorption protein thing. You want slow absorbing protein, eat food.
Exactly, And I'm not a big fan of casein. I remember back in the day, I don't know how it is now, but isn't it so thick? Like, you put it in, and it's like chalk.
Well, what it technically is, the math might be a little wrong here. I think it's like 8 ounces of milk. You get 7 grams of casein and 1 gram of whey protein. And then within that, you know, there's hydrolyzed whey isolate, all this kind of stuff. But the casein, that's the cheapest part of the protein. So it's kind of like the stuff they sweep off the floor.
It's disgusting.
Then they market it and they're like, you have slower digesting protein. It's like, well, I mean, you could call it that or like no digesting protein because it's so rough. A little bit of a tangent here, but I always tell people, if you're just like an average Joe, let's say, you know, you're not really working out, your diet's just whatever you want to eat. Like, okay, I need to get healthier, I want to lose some weight. Because like 99% of people, especially people that aren't in the fitness world, they skip breakfast, all of them. If you just add in a protein shake, you're just a normal person. You just wake up, you're like, I'm not hungry. Totally get it. Your metabolism's super slow. hit a protein shake for breakfast. Within a month, you're going to notice a difference in your complete well-being of life just from hitting a protein shake in the morning.
Yeah, your metabolism is going to increase. You know, you're going to get that immediate protein in the morning to help build muscle, right? Like I just got done saying before, is when I wake up, I do protein immediately. What I've realized in my career is that protein builds muscle, carbohydrates dictate fat loss. So in my personal experience, right? Like, yes, you need protein and carbs to build muscle, right? Let's be honest, guys. Why are my bodybuilders gaining 15 pounds of muscle in a prep on a low carb diet? High protein, guys. It is what it is. Even my bikini girls, man, they're growing into the show on no carbohydrates. So carbohydrates dictate fat loss. So that's where people get that messed up for sure.
Well, I mean, you could kind of even go into, you know, people now, I see so much on social media now, especially like the younger guys, dirty bulks, stuff like that. It's like, you're either putting on lean muscle or you're getting fat.
Pretty much.
Like there's no reason to get fat when you're trying to put on size. I mean, you just said it. While people are getting leaner, they're putting on muscle.
Again, man, it's technology. Social media, pretty much. It started in 2013, I feel, and then it started growing ever since. And it's just like working out. You see somebody doing something that looks cool, but it does nothing for your body, workout-wise. So people start doing that, thinking it's okay. And it's the same thing as diet. People try to have the easy way out. They're trying to do dirtier foods because it's easier to eat, when nobody wants to eat chicken and rice, dude. Nobody wants to eat chicken and sweet potato. Nobody wants to eat steak and sweet potato. But you have to do it if you want to, like, seriously be a bodybuilder and be really healthy. If you're dirty bulking, you're gonna feel it, dude. You're gonna wake up no energy, you're gonna be fucking slow, and it's not the way to go.
All right, so you started lifting at 14, your nutrition was actually not terrible, started getting more serious with that chicken cutlets and mashed potatoes. What would you have told your younger self to change if they could focus on one thing?
So if I could focus on one thing, it would be stick the fuck away from the weights and don't try to go heavy, and just focus on, you know, time under tension and controlling the damn weight. Because I don't know if you know this, but I blew up my back when I was 21, squatting 6 plates for 20 reps, 2 times a week, didn't give a shit. I was underneath that squat bar, going as heavy as possible. And I feel like the most common injury is that, right? So if we're gonna go down that road, you know, of working out, that's what I would have my number one. I would tell myself, Matt, slow the fuck down. Don't train as heavy, don't train as hard, focus on the mind to muscle connection in every single group.
But still bodybuilding style lifts and stuff?
Yes, I mean, the thing is, I went 0 to 100 when I was like 14, so I think the biggest thing for me would be the injury side of things, right? I think people rush too quick. They try to get too strong, they try to get too heavy, and you get injured. I have a guy on my team right now, he will never compete again probably, because he blew out his back, you know, because he just trained too fucking heavy. Slow it down, the strength will come, just worry about the weight. Worry about the time and attention, and that's pretty much it.
Dude, I burned all of that out in my younger years. I have no desire to train heavy.
Me neither.
I have zero desire.
Like, well, the thing, but when you were younger,
that's all I wanted to do. I lived twice a day and go as heavy as I could.
Why are people like that? You know what I'm saying? I get it, because it's fun, right? You're in there, you got a girl over there looking at you, and you're watching 6 plates, baby, what's up? And you're just repping out 20 reps, and they're looking at you like you're ugly, because, you know what I'm saying, you're repping out 20 plates. Like, look at that fucking psychopath screaming in the corner. But when you're in the zone, it's like you think everyone's staring at you.
He's got 2 kids. It must have worked somehow, dude.
I mean, it did work. You know what I'm saying? I guess it worked. But, you know, still, guys, you know, get away from the ego lifting. Please save yourself, because I want you to do this for a long time, not a short time.
So let's say, we actually have a lot of this customers who are either looking for trainers or whatever. They get on a basic, we get them on like a multivitamin, a protein shake and stuff like that. And then they're like, hey Matt, I'm brand new to working out. Would you even take somebody on like that that's a client?
Yes, of course, because I feel like if you hire me or hire any coach that knows what they're doing, you're gonna level up your knowledge 10 years worth in one plan, right? When I send out one set of plans, or if I work with you for 12 weeks, I expect you to be not a professional, but you should know a lot about what you're doing.
Self-sufficient,
you know,
almost.
Beyond self-sufficient, yes. If people take it seriously, right? Like, again, I'll get a lot of clients who don't take it seriously, but if you're coming to me and you're like, listen, Matt, you know, I want to take it seriously. This is what it is. I'm going to give you diet, the training, the supplementation, and I'm going to have exactly what you're going to take to hit your goals, right?
Can you kind of tell by now who's serious and who's not, like first meeting them?
100%. 100%. And me, you know, it's funny is I actually have a video coming out this week about that with the team. We're talking about that because you know immediately, do you want to do this and do you want to do a bodybuilding show? Let's say you're a coach and I'm coming to you. And I'm like, oh yeah, well.
When's my first cheat meal, dude?
Well, exactly. Do I get cheat meals, right? Do I get cheat meals? How much cardio do you have to do? You know, if you start asking those questions, that's when you're just not gonna be ready, right? If you come in there like, no, I want to slaughter everyone. I know it's my first time, but I want to fucking kill it. I want to lose this weight. There is no fucking excuse, Matt. I want to do this. I need this. I'm fucking 400 pounds. I have to lose weight or I'm gonna fucking die. That's the mentality we need, guys. In a lifestyle client or in a prep, right? People come to me like, oh, I'm okay with like 5th place. Why are you going to do this?
Don't get on stage.
For 5th place. Why are you going to come to me and say you want to lose 15 pounds when you're 400 fucking pounds? Like, no. You want to come to me because you want to make big goals and you want to change. And you know right off the rip if people are serious or not.
Right. Yeah, I mean, people can do it too. in quicker time than I think they realize. My first show when I was 19, I was completely ignorant to everything. I knew about supplement and training, all that type of stuff, but I actually had someone who, you know, did it for a living guide me. And our plan was 12 weeks. And I went in there, did everything perfect, never missed anything, just a psycho with it. And then all of a sudden it's 5 weeks, and I'm like, I think I look like shit. And they're like, no, dude, you're ready. And I'm like, already?
Yeah.
Already? But that's like what I learned from that. I was like, oh shit, if you actually put in 100% effort, you might beat even what you think is unrealistic.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
100%.
It's something to keep in mind for people. A lot of people are discouraged by that. You know, they're like, oh, 12 weeks, you know, maybe that seems like a long time or maybe it doesn't, but I know a lot of people don't realize, like, dude, not only can you lose a shitload of fat, but you put on a lot of muscle, look like a completely different
human being. And this is the thing too, and this is so big, guys. I tell this to everybody, you know, is when you cheat, you think you're gonna remember that cheat meal 4 months from now, or that scoop of almond butter you did in that thing instead of doing oil, or just 2 scoops of almond butter. You're not gonna fucking care. Food is just a temporary satisfaction. And once you realize that, your diet's gonna be so much easier, because what I did in this prep is, like, I look at, okay, 3 months ago, I didn't even want food. I didn't even want fucking, you know, Longhorn Steakhouse bread. I didn't even want, you know, Cheesecake Factory cheesecake. I didn't even want any of that shit. So why am I gonna have that mentality right now when I'm 6 weeks out from a show, or I'm in this diet because I'm trying to save my life? And what pisses me off is, like, if I could do it and be this serious, guys, about a show, how are people not serious about saving their life? You know, like if you're 400 pounds, you're gonna die. You will die early. Well, there's no way you're not.
You can relate to this more than me, but I always see people that are out of shape and they have kids. That to me is like you couldn't.
No,
have
you know, listen. You know what's
example.
worse? You know what's worse is being fat, having kids, and then making your fucking kids fat.
Yeah, and what's crazy is, I can't remember who said it, who I heard this from, but kids don't always listen to you, but they always replicate you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
exactly.
Man, you know how awful you would feel is it, you know, when you're older and maybe your kid's like, hey, mom, dad, I got diabetes. It's like, no one wants that, dude.
Well,
like,
that's 100% going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
If the parent does not change.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're seeing this out there, guys, hire a coach. Hire somebody to get yourself help, because I see it, let's be honest, right? A 400-pound guy, 350-pound guy, and his fat kid. Like, you're giving these bad traits to your son. He's sitting there drinking Coke after Coke after Coke after Coke. You're killing your kid at the end of the day. And it's not right.
Well, that's from the physical side, but even the mental side, like, you know your kid's not happy. You know, you never felt good when you were, you know, feeling awful, not in shape and stuff like that. I'm not even talking about from the aesthetic point of view, just health-wise and how you physically feel inside is negative. Don't put that on your kids either, man.
Yeah, and that is so big, and I hope to God somebody sees this out there and realizes what they're doing, because just because you want to be fat and you're comfortable being that way and you've given up on life does not mean that you need to put that on your kid, because our kids deserve 100%. I'm a dad of 2. They deserve everything, and it's up to us to give it to them.
You have an outside source of motivation bigger than yourself. You know, that's what a lot of people, I think, when they think about getting in shape and reaching their fitness goals and stuff like that, it's always me. It's like, dude, your spouse will feel better and be in a better mood because you're living better. It all gravitates around you. Your kids have a better example. The people you work with, you're a better version there. You're a better version at your job. You're better at your hobbies. Everything is better in life when you're healthier and in shape.
Just plus, in business,
first impressions are real, whether people want to accept that or not. And no one's going to tell you that if you're in better shape that the first impression is not going to be as good. It's just be realistic.
Like if somebody walks in the room and you're, you know, 250 pounds fat, and I'm 185 pounds, you know, shredded, and we have the same amount of money, who is that person going to gravitate to immediately?
Of course.
The guy who takes care of himself, because that shows discipline. If you have your body in check, everything else comes along.
Of course. So, better life, sleep better, happier life, and you're better for the people you care about. So if your fitness goal doesn't motivate you for yourself, the people around you, that's what should motivate you. You're going to give them a better life.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
100%.